Hello, my beautiful people out there in Minecraft land. How are you today? I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. Today, I have a few things to do, and I want to start by showing you this right here. Yes, that is the former location of Moorasic Park, where I had over 800 mushroom cows, and I realized, you know what, my FPS is gonna tank majorly if I continue to have 800 mushroom cows. So I think what I'm gonna do is temporarily close the park, and well, you know, I safely relocated 800 mushroom cows to a nearby secure facility. Yes, that's exactly what happened to them. Let's just not talk about it anymore. Anyway, I figured that the only mushrooms that will exist on my island for the short term are the ones that spawn naturally on the island. And just in case you are wondering, there are a couple that have spawned naturally. And of course you can't see them at the moment, but they're over there on the other side of my greenhouse, hiding back there. Maybe you can just kind of see them through some of the green glass. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what I plan to do today, because I want to move this orchard. That's right. I had this idea that I wanted to start separating the factory space from the living space, as you knew from a couple episodes ago. And that basically means moving the orchard. Is the orchard factory? Well, not really. But is it living? Not really. So the whole idea is to maybe use... Ow, smash. I'm going to use this sign. That's what I'm going to use. Fix. I'm going to fix this orchard. And basically what I'm going to do is use it as a separator between the space that I live in and the space that I work in. And so, see if I can fall off this cliff here. Right here. Right about here. I think right here I'm going to clear away some of these giant mushrooms. I'm going to close in some of the space behind me to sort of reinforce the fact that that's a factory over there, and hide some of this exposed redstone for the potion brewing station. And yeah, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. So that is what I'm going to start this episode with. So let's roll the time lapse. Alright, so that is now completed, and of course smashed into a tree. So this is my brand new relocated orchard on the lower level, just between the factory and where I am living in my new black castle, which has yet to be completed. I need to do some more work to that. It's been an episode or two, and I need to add some more stuff to it. But before I do that, I just wanted to quickly show you how I've replaced some things here. First of all, you'll notice the distinct lack of carpet on the ground, and also the distinct lack of hoppers on the ground. And that's because I have these little guys right here, these little black boxes called absorption hoppers. And what they do is they work like a regular hopper, but they will also grab things out of the air. And I wonder if I could actually right-click on... Yeah, see if I go to show area here. So you'll actually see that they're capable of picking up stuff in all this whole area that's highlighted in green here. And that's just stuff sitting on the ground. So if let's see, go back into that, and I will hide the area. If apples fall off these trees, they get sucked up automatically, and I can demonstrate that just by sort of throwing some of these things into the air. And you can see that as I throw them, they immediately get picked up, and they are connected underground with cabling that will automatically import them into my refined storage system. So I'm back to collecting large quantities of apples. Why do I need large quantities of apples? You know what, honestly, I have no idea, but I like apple trees. Don't you like apple trees? And wouldn't you like to collect apples if you had 16 apple trees? By the way, I've also upgraded. I only had 6 apple trees before, and now I have 16. So I'm collecting way more apples than I ever did before, and it looks like it's night. So I'm going to go sleep before I do something else. So then you're probably asking yourself, what am I going to do with that large slab of space where the orchard used to be up on top? And I will tell you exactly what I intend to do with it, and that is to turn it into additional factory space. You see, I'm starting to run out of other factory space, so here we go. I've now started the process of using this space for more factory space, and what I want to do is create a new machine today, and I'll show you the machine that I want to create. It is called a metallurgic, and of course I'm going to spell this wrong, there it is, metallurgic infuser. So I'm going to need a couple furnaces, I'm going to need some osmium, I'm going to need some iron, yeah. And I think I have all that stuff. Yes, I do. I have all that stuff. So make one of these things. And I already have a place set out to put this thing. So let me just get rid of this and put this thing right up here. And there it is. Beautiful machine. It's going to need some power and it's going to need some other things. So this metallurgic infuser is from a mod called Mechanism. And Mechanism, yeah, it's pretty complex. There's a lot of things you can do with it. But I need something quite simple. Let's see if I actually do mechanism. Yeah, no, see, look at all the things from the mechanism mod. Just like a whole page worth of stuff. I can't remember what this thing is called, but I know what it looks like. There it is, enriched alloy. So I need to take redstone, either blocks of redstone or this regular redstone, and iron ingots, and I can get these things called enriched alloy. So that's what I'm going to be working towards. So the first thing I need is some power. So I think I have, yeah, I already have a crystal here in my inventory, and I have one of these, and you know what, I might need one of these as well, and I'm going to get my angel block out because I know I'm going to be doing some linking. So let's see, the crystal goes on the back of this guy, right like that. It's got to be set to output, which it is, and then where could I link it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a new angel block right here, and then I'm going to add my draconic energy crystal right here. Perfect. Then I can break my angel block, don't need that anymore. Now I can shift right click on that to turn it green, and I can link this to here, and then I can link it to one of these other things here. So maybe actually I can just link it to this one, right? There we go. Link, link, link. So now I have lasers shooting all over here, and most importantly into my new metallurgic infuser. And it should be getting power, but it's not. Why is it not getting power? Did I configure this wrong? Output. Should be output. Yes, it is. Maybe it is getting power and it's just not displaying. Or maybe I need to configure power a different way. Let's see. Power. Using. Needed. Needed 0. Oh, using. Oh, okay. So maybe it doesn't actually get power until you actually put some stuff into it. Okay, well, let's try. So let's try redstone. I need some of that. And let's try iron. Iron. There we go. And let's just click. Oh, there we go. So it's filling up with redstone. Not necessarily power, but redstone. And then let's put this in here. And okay, so this machine is actually pumping away. And it's using 20 RF per tick. Well, that's fantastic. It is going pretty slow. So, I mean, that's okay. I mean, there it is. I'm getting the thing that I need. But I'm sure I can speed this up. So, give me a second to have a look at some of the upgrades that are available. Alright, so I had a quick look. If I just search for @mech_up, you can see all of the different upgrades that you could get for these machines. And the one I'm most interested in is this first one here, speed upgrade. And you can see it uses glass, it uses this enriched alloy, which I just created, and it also uses osmium dust. I have some osmium dust. Osmium. I have one osmium dust. And to be honest, I'm not sure where I got it. Probably by breaking one of those rocks, and it just gave me random dust. But I have lots of osmium, so if I take a stack of osmium and go down to my other machines, I've got Ender IO machines over here, and one of those is my sag mill. If I click that in there, there we go. So I'm grinding down this osmium into osmium dust. That's fantastic. I can probably automate a lot of this stuff too. So osmium dust. So there we go. Take the osmium dust, put that in the middle, and then I need, oh, those enriched alloy, these guys right here. So 15. I think I need 16 of them because 16 will give me 8 upgrades, and I think 8 upgrades is the maximum. So there we go. That could not have worked out better in terms of timing. So half there, and the other half there, and get my 8 speed upgrades. So now, how do you apply upgrades? Upgrades. If I just shift them in, yeah, there we go. So I get the upgrades in, and they just sort of apply themselves one at a time. I should be able to actually watch as the upgrades apply how much faster this is actually going. Okay, maybe it doesn't seem to be going that much. Okay, no, it's going faster. It's definitely going faster. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of speed upgrades in there now. It's, yeah, it's using a bunch of RF. It's making these things. That's pretty good. So, and it's using up redstone. It's using everything. All right, so that's basically what I wanted to get was these guys anyway. They're not importing directly, and I think that's because I have to, yeah, I have to eject things from the side. So this is, I don't know what color that is. It looks like a dark blue. So if I take dark blue and I say, okay, don't go out the side, but do go out the bottom, output. There we go. Now, yeah, so that's draining because they're going into the importer. And if I go speed upgrades, so let's take a few of those, come down here and click those in there. Yeah, see, it actually goes so fast that it just disappears. All right, this took some doing, but I think I got it. I have a crafter that's renamed to Metallurgic Infuser, and I'm just going to plunk it right on there and get rid of this dirt and this dirt, and gotta pick up my dirt. Can't leave it. Also, I've got a pattern here, which is a pattern for this enriched alloy, which is great. I've got some speed upgrades in there. So I've got this thing pointed into a chest, and then I've got it extracting from this chest and into 2 different sides of this machine. One specifically for the redstone and one for the iron. I've got a filter set on my input here just for the redstone because that's the only thing that should go in here, and then there's no filter on the rest. So I should be able to go alloy here, so there's 10 in here, but so take those 10, and if I go craft and I say just craft another 10, start, click start, you should see they go into this chest. There we go. And yep, so the redstone goes in, the iron ingots go in, and then they generate this stuff, and there should be exactly enough redstone and iron, yeah, to make those 10 alloys. There they are. Perfect. So you're probably saying to yourself, why did I need to make all of these machines to get those alloys and all that stuff? And the reason is because I want to make this thing called a pump, an electric pump specifically. It's a mechanism device, and this is the recipe used to create it. So I needed those 2 enriched alloys, I need some osmium, I need a bucket, and then I need a steel casing. So I have most of that stuff. The last thing I need is that steel casing. And the steel casing is pretty simple. It just requires some steel ingots, some glass, and osmium. The only problem now is that I don't have any steel. And I honestly just discovered this before I started recording this clip, so I'm not going to pretend like, oh my god, I didn't realize this before, because to be honest, I just realized it. I created chickens for dark steel and for electrical steel, but not regular, ordinary, everyday steel. In order to create a steel chicken, let's see, where are we here? Dark steel, electrical steel, terra steel, steel! There it is. I need an iron chicken and a coal chicken. I can't believe there's at least one chicken out there that I never created. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, so I need my iron chicken. So I'll grab 16 of those. And I think my coal chicken is here. Yep, let's grab those. Let's go over to my magical breeding device and let's pop those in there. And then let's start breeding. So we need to do this a couple seeds at a time until we actually get the chicken that we want. And there it is, steel. But yeah, there we go. We need 2 of them. So let's get these out. Let's get these out. And let's pop these guys in. And add 2 seeds, and they're going to take a minute to breed. But I can pop these guys in while I'm waiting. So my coal chickens go back in here. My iron chickens go back in here. So I've got now a 3-2-3 chicken. So I can put this here, organize these, add another 2 of these, and I just have to wait until these breed up to 10, 10, 10. Alright, 14, 15, 16 steel chickens. And if I just find a nice and convenient place to put these guys, wow, there's no room at the inn here. Holy moly, I actually am almost full. There's a spot. Okay, there we go. And it's going pretty fast, but that's only going to give me, I think, about 3, yeah, so 3 steel ingots. But that's okay. I don't need that much steel. So now that I'm actually creating steel from chickens, I should be able to just zip over to my factory and get everything that I need built. So let's take a look if I can build my steel casing yet. So steel. So I already have 9 steel casing, so that's this. So I only need 4 for that, so let's get that. There's one of those. Now I can go for my pump, which is this guy, and got it. Got my electric pump. Now, I'm going to start pumping some liquids with this pump. But I need a place to store those liquids. So in order to do that, I'm going to need something called an ender tank. That would be this guy right here. So it's pretty easy to make. In fact, I'm going to need 2 of them. So I should do that. I'm going to need a couple cauldrons. 1, 2. What else do I need? I need wool and obsidian. It's the wool I don't have. So how do I make wool? Oh, with string. No problem. Get that, get that. Make that, and then 1, 2, perfect. And the nice thing about these ender tanks is that you can color them the same way that you can color your ender chests, because they're actually from the same mod, ender storage. Didn't mean to put my pump down. So I need to pick some colors. So what do I have in the way of dye? And what am I going to be pumping? Well, I won't tell you exactly what I'm going to be pumping. But what I will tell you is that I need black, because black seems to be the color of what I'm going to be pumping. So let's go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And one of these guys we're just going to leave here for now, and the other we're going to take with us. And we're also going to take our pump. But I'm going to need some way to power my pump where I am. So I wonder if there's some sort of portable energy I could take with me, or maybe I should just do the whole crystal thing. I don't know. Let me think about it. All right, I've got my idea, and that is this thing right here, the dimensional transceiver. That's probably the quickest and easiest way to get power underground, where I actually need to use my pump. And you can see it's loaded with a capacitor. It's already got power. It's already receiving lots of power, actually. And, well, it's actually already draining a lot of power as well. I don't know why it's draining so much and not recharging. Whatever. We'll worry about that another day. For now, we've got enough power to do what we need to do. So we need to take this pump and then take it all the way down into our underground cavern. So there we go. All the way down. So remember this place? This is one of the earlier episodes places where I dug out massive areas using my mining turtles here. But one thing that I kind of never really talked about is this black stuff right over here, which is a new liquid from this mod. And you can't actually even see what this liquid is, but I do happen to know what it is. And I can't pump it from here. I actually need to be above it, which is why I created this little stepway here. So let me just get up here, and here is the top of the liquid. And the trick here is you need to put the pump, I think you can just put the pump above the liquid, so I'm going to try that. But first I need to put the dimensional transceiver down. So there it is. It's got lots of power in it. Yeah. Then I could attach my pump to it right there. And of course that didn't work. So let me try to get it without accidentally dumping my pump into this liquid. No, I don't want to go in the liquid either. Okay. So actually, why don't I just stick the pump to the side there? There we go. And then I will take the dimensional transceiver, and I will clear this. And then I will stick the dimensional transceiver. Can't talk. There you go. Right there. It's got 0 RF. Why has it got 0 RF? Probably because I need to put the RF on top of it. I mean the power on top of it. Like that. Are you getting RF yet? I'm not really sure. No, that's green. That should be where the power goes. Alright, so let's try this again. So let's put the power there. Let's assume it's getting power. Let's put the tank on top. And nope, we're not pumping liquid. Why are we not pumping liquid? Do we need some sort of power? Needed units. Maybe I need to switch these things around. Alright, it may not seem like it, but between the last clip and this clip, it's been about a half an hour. I've been in and out of a creative test world trying to figure this out, and as it turns out, the dimensional transceiver will not connect directly to the pump from Mechanism. That's a common problem when you have multiple mods installed. Not all the power is necessarily gonna work with all of the machines from different mods. So I did find a workaround, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I have to do is place down my dimensional transceiver. It's pre-configured to get power from somewhere. Wherever, not really sure where. Then I need to click one of these draconic energy IO crystals on each one of these machines. This one is set to input, and it shouldn't be. It should be set to output. This one is set to input, and it should be getting power, but for some reason it is not. So maybe I need to configure the sides. See, power, available, receive power. There we go. Are we getting power now? Yeah, there we go. So now we're feeding power into our energy crystal. And the last thing to do then is to shift right click on that one and right click on this one, and then I should be able to look at it and see that it is getting power and it's collecting oil, crude oil. And if I plop this tank on top, right there, where did I go? What happened? I'm trapped in a wall. What's happening? Oh, there we go. I don't know how that happened. I ended up stuck in that ceiling for a second. Anyway, I've plunked down my tank on top of this device, and you can see it's filling up. So it's already full, actually. So my pump is working overtime trying to collect oil, but it can't because the pump is full. It's pumped oil into the ender tank. And now all I have to do is go back up to where my other tank is and start dealing with that oil. And as you can see, from the pump at the top, all of my oil is magically being transported up into this other ender tank, which is super cool. It's like magically transferring through the ether. But it doesn't really do me a lot of good in this ender tank. I actually need to get it into some other large storage device. What's really cool about the refined storage mod is that it supports a number of these storage disks, as you've already seen in previous episodes, but it also has these fluid storage disks all the way up to 4096K. I think that's as high as you can go. Yeah, there's a creative one as well, but obviously you can't craft that one. But the 4096K one you can craft using this 4096K fluid storage part, and you build that with 1024K, and you build that with 256Ks, and you build that with 64Ks, and you build that with glass and silicon. And yeah, but you need a bunch of these things, and this is where the power of auto crafting comes in. So if I just tell it I want to do, let's see, fluid. Yeah, see, I already built the recipes for all these things. So I'm just going to build, let's see, a few of these. Let's go. Do I need 8? Well, why not? Oh, I need buckets. I need 319 buckets. Well, actually, I could just create a recipe for buckets. So give me a second. In my pattern grid here, I will search for bucket. I will click bucket, and there's the pattern for buckets. So I will create a pattern for that. I'm just doing this to remind you because I haven't done it in a long time. In my crafters, I will place that in there, and now my system knows how to make buckets. So I should be able to go back to creating a fluid disk. Let's see, 8 of them. Start. I have everything I need. Click Start. I will look at my crafting monitor, and you can see that it's going. It's burning through these things pretty fast. Not super fast, but it should be done in a moment. And there it is, all done. And actually the funny thing is I was going to cut, and I didn't even have to cut because that actually finished that quick. So let's see what we now have. Fluid storage disks, there's 8 of them. And of course these things don't stack, so I have to just take them out one at a time. I have 8 storage disks, and the question is, where can I put these 8 storage disks? Well, I have a space up here full of these old disk drives that I never did take down. So I'm just going to borrow one, and I'm going to come out here. And obviously I'm going to have to do something much better with this. Maybe I'll create a whole new bank of arrays for specifically storage of fluids. So you click that. Now here's where it gets interesting, because you have to change the disk drive type to fluids. Then you can put the fluid disks in, and you should probably actually tell it what kind of fluids are allowed in here as well. Right now, I don't have any fluids in my system. Technically I do. I have experience. An XP is considered a fluid, but I have the priority set on my XP obelisk, which is down here, right here. I have the priority set higher, so anytime experience flows into this system, it goes into the XP obelisk. And look at that, I actually have 448 levels of experience just sitting there, and that's from running my mob farm continuously while I'm kind of working. But what I'd like to do is now take this fluid and import it into this system. So I am going to need an importer, the same way I would have done this with regular stuff. Yeah, how can I do this? I'm just going to grab this thing for now, and I will plunk it on top of, well, not on top of anything, beside that. So there it is. Then I can hopefully attach my importer to that, set my importer to fluids, and then we have fluid draining into this thing. And I don't have a way of kind of monitoring the fluid except to look here, but I can create something called a fluid grid, which is this guy right here. And the way you do that is with this recipe right here, but I need a grid first. Do I have a grid? I don't have a grid at all, but I know I can make a grid. So crafting grid, let's make that. Okay, there's my grid. I need a bucket, so let's craft one of those. I now know how to make buckets. And then fluid grid. So where are we? Fluid grid. Let's make that, and we got it. And now I should be able to just drop this guy down here. And look at that. I can actually monitor my system for different stuff. So I do have over 16 million millibuckets of liquid XP. As I said, XP is a liquid. And I have 91 millibuckets of oil. 94,000. Yeah, because each one of these 1,000 millibuckets is actually one full bucket. So basically what you're looking at here is just over 100 buckets of oil. And I can also increase the speed here. So if I go speed upgrades, and let's take a bunch of those out. And let's go to our importer here. And of course I'm limited by the speed of my my pump at the moment. But you can actually see it is going, well, it would be going much faster if my pump was faster. So maybe I should try to upgrade my pump. Alright, here I am down where my pump is again. And if I right click on that, I should be able to insert these in the upgrades, the same as we did before. And here we are, applying the upgrades. We've got speed upgrades, 6, 7, 5, 4, yeah. So, and the faster obviously, or the more of these upgrades we put in here, the faster I'll be able to pump fluid. So yeah, so it looks like all the upgrades are applied now. And you can only do 8, so let's teleport up to the top here. So let's take a look at how fast this stuff is importing now. There we go. Now we're racing. So we've got 400, over 400, almost coming up on 500 buckets of oil. So that's great. Now the real question is, what am I going to do with all this oil? Well, actually, look at that. I just ran out of, or the oil stopped pumping. Why did the oil stop pumping? Well, I happen to know exactly why the oil stopped pumping, and you should too. Remember that large pile of oil that was kind of sitting in this space right here? Well, it's all gone. It's all pumped up. Yep, it's completely empty. So down another one of these paths, I'll just fly down there to make this a little bit faster. You can actually see another large pile of oil that was uncovered through one of my turtle excavation sessions. So let's get up here, and there it is, tons of oil. So we can put our pump down again. Let's see, let's try it right here. So there we go. I did it again. How do I keep ending up in ceilings? Ow, get out of the oil, gross. And in our fluid, yeah, so we're over 1,000 buckets of liquid now and rising really fast. But as I said a moment ago, we need to figure out exactly what we're going to do with all this crude oil. In order to process this oil into something useful, I'm going to need something called a refinery. And this is from the Galacticraft mod. So in order to make it, I'm going to need some stone, I'm going to need a furnace, I'm going to need some of these copper canisters. Copper canisters are pretty easy to make as long as I have copper, which I'm pretty sure I do. But I'm also going to need these compressed steel. And in order to make the compressed steel, I'm going to need something called a compressor. So I put steel ingots into this thing and compress them. But, and this is a big but, I like big buts and I cannot lie, I'm going to need this thing called a wafer. And in order to get the wafer, I'm going to need a circuit fabricator and put all these stuff in. And so that is the next machine that I need to make. In order to make the circuit fabricator, I need aluminum ingots, as well as this aluminum wire. And unfortunately, I don't have a good source of aluminum because I never made an aluminum chicken. So you know what that means, flint and iron. There's my flint chicken, and my iron chicken is here. Into the breeding box with you. Flint and iron, and let's try some seeds. Flint, flint, flint. Come on, give me what I want. There we go, aluminum chickens. So let's get those guys out of there. Let's get those guys into there, and let's start breeding. There we go. And that would be our 16 aluminum chickens, which we can put right there. Alright, first we make aluminum wire. And we make that like this with wool. And of course, oh, we do have some wool. So we've got some aluminum wire. Next, we make our circuit fabricator. This guy right here. Because I think we have everything we need except that aluminum. Yeah, perfect. Circuit fabricator. Now let's get that guy placed down over here. Now we need to get power to this guy, so let's go into our pouch and grab our crystal binder and another couple of these crystals. I think I'm going to need a few, so let's just break those out. There we go. And let's pop one of these on the back of here. Let's make sure it's set to output. And then we will use our crystal wrench. In fact, I'm going to go up here and shift right click on this guy, because then I'll be able to quickly add new devices to this particular thing. So there we go. So we're getting, why are we not getting any power now? It should be going. Yeah, it says it's getting power. Oh, you probably have to put the power on a specific side. Yep, so as it turns out, the Galacticraft machines all have a green power input somewhere. So you have to make sure that you input your power to the right place. So here we go. We're grabbing power. Now we just need to figure out all of the stuff that goes in here in order to make our wafers. To make a basic wafer, we need a diamond, we need 2 silicon, we need redstone and a redstone torch. I've got all that stuff in my inventory right now, so let's get over to this machine and just click, 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 click in there, and hopefully, yeah, so this machine is definitely slow, but it should be making our basic wafer. And there we go. We've got a basic wafer. And it's going to just keep plugging away and making more basic wafers for us until we need or don't need any more basic wafers. While I'm working with the circuit fabricator in order to make basic wafers, I'm also going to want to make these things called advanced wafers. And as you can see, the recipes are very similar. The main difference is you have to put a redstone repeater up here instead of a redstone torch to get an advanced wafer. So I've now got all of those things in my inventory. And click, 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 and click. And hopefully, yeah, here we go. So just as slow, but it should give me advanced wafers. Perfect. There we go. For every repeater, we get one advanced wafer. So the next thing I'm going to want to make is this thing called the compressor, and it's this one right here, made with aluminum, one of those basic wafers, some copper ingots, and an anvil. And the only thing I don't have here is the anvil, so let's grab that recipe. Got myself an anvil, and let's make that. So what I'd really like to make is this thing called the electric compressor. But as you can see, in order to make an electric compressor, you need a compressor and an advanced wafer, but also you need some compressed steel. And so I'm going to need the basic compressor to make these compressed steel and compressed tin in order to get the electrical one, which I can use with power. For now, I'm just going to have to use the regular compressor with coal. So I can put my compressor down here. I can feed in some coal, I can feed in some steel, and I think I have to separate this into two groups. There we go. And this thing's cooking away, and it's going to give me a compressed steel. And there you go, compressed steel. And it makes a lot of interesting sounds along the way as well. Very nice. And I'm getting one compressed steel for every 2 ingots I put in. And presumably I can do the exact same thing with tin ingots and get compressed tin. And that's exactly what I need in order to make the next phase. Alright, now that I've done all of that, I should be able to take this machine, get back here, how dare you run away, and put it in the middle of this recipe to get the electrical compressor, or the electric compressor, and I can put that in its place right there. And of course I've got to feed in power from the side here, so let's set that to output, and then we can link it with our crystal binder, and now we are getting power. Perfect. And I wonder if this thing goes any faster. Let's just check it out. Maybe a little bit faster, not a whole lot faster though. But that's okay. So we're gonna need to do this a bunch because we're gonna need to get a bunch of these compressed steel and compressed tin and some of the other kind of compressed materials to make the next thing. Now I do happen to know that all of these machines go pretty slowly, but they can definitely be sped up with the use of the Watch of Flowing Time on top of a dark matter pedestal. So check this out. Right click on that. You can just hear it. You can hear it flying through these things. And look at that. That's already done as well. I love this thing. And the final step then is to create our refinery using these copper canisters. So yes, I do have copper. And hopefully I have now everything I need to make the refinery. There it is. So I can put the refinery down. I'm going to give myself a little extra room this time. There it is. Kind of a cool looking device, right? Where's the power input? Is it on top? Yes. So you got to look for the color-coded things with these guys here. So okay, right-click on that, make it output. Right-click on that, and then yeah. So we're getting power. So now one of these is input and one of these is output, and just based on the whole left to right rule, I'm going to guess that this one is input and this one is output. So I need to grab some importers and exporters. So let's grab an importer. That's not how you spell importer. Let's grab one of those. Let's grab an exporter, one of these. And then let's grab some cable as well, because that's going to be important. There we go. And okay, so where are we here? Exporter. Exporter goes here, so that'll send oil in. Importer goes here, and that'll take the refined material out. And then we just need to hook these things up to our system with cable. So let's get some cable out here and here, connect those together, and then we'll just, actually I'm going to run this all the way down to try to keep things a little clean here. There we go. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how in the world do I get oil into here? Well, the first thing I need to do is set this to fluids, and I also need to set this to fluids so that it is working with fluids. Then I'm going to need a bucket. So let's craft one of those. How did I never need a bucket recipe before? That's so funny. Go to my fluid grid, and if I take my bucket, I think this will work. If I just click on the oil, or do I right click on it? Yeah, so you right click on the oil and you get an oil bucket. And then I should be able to open this and shift click that right in there. There we go. And so I have oil now set to automatically import. And here it is, importing. And it's automatically set to refine, and it should be processing into fuel. But the fuel is automatically importing back into my system. So I'll come over here to my fluid grid, and there it is. So you can see the fluid is going. So shift that back in. So now I have all of my oil back in the system, and fuel is going. And I don't know if this is too far to reach, but we'll see. Nope. There it goes. It's basically plowing through this oil, something fierce. So this is great. It's going to turn all of that into fuel. And that is where we're going to leave things off for today. So we have gone through some really cool processes and set up a bunch of machines here. We've set up a metallurgic infuser, and we've set up a I don't even remember what all these are. A circuit fabricator and a compressor, electric compressor upgraded, and then to a refinery to refine our oil into fuel. And what are we going to use that fuel for? You will have to wait until a future episode to find out. But if you've been paying close attention to the mod that has these tools in them, you might have a clue as to what it is we're actually going to be doing with this refined fuel. So, if you don't know and you want to know, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in next week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Modded Minecraft. If you liked this video and you want to show me your support, if you would be so kind, please give me a like on this video. And if you really enjoyed it and you want to see more content, more great content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel as well. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.